Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Money Makes Money channel. I'm Johnny, and if you're new here, this is the place where we talk about real ways to make money, build wealth, and create financial freedom, especially for college students and young people just starting. Today, I've got something really exciting to share with you. I'm going to show you exactly how I made $847 in just one weekend using a side hustle that literally anyone can start. No special skills required, no huge investment, and best of all, you can start this today. So, if you're a broke college student like I was, or if you just want to make some extra cash on the side, stick around because this video is going to change the game for you. And hey, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our money-making content. All right, let's dive right in. Before we get into the actual side hustle, I want to be completely honest with you. When I first started college, I was broke, and I mean broke. I was living off instant ramen, couldn't afford to go out with friends, and I was constantly stressed about money. I had student loans piling up, rent to pay, and textbooks that cost more than my monthly food budget. I tried the typical college jobs, working at the campus library, flipping burgers, and delivering pizza. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with those jobs, but they were time-consuming and didn't pay nearly enough. I was working 20 hours a week and barely making $200. That's when I realized I needed to think differently. I needed a side hustle that could make me real money without eating up all my time. I needed something flexible that I could do on weekends when I wasn't buried in assignments. So I started researching, testing different methods, and honestly, I failed a bunch of times. But then I discovered this one method and everything changed. That first weekend, I made $847. I couldn't believe it. I literally checked my bank account 5 times to make sure it was real. And the best part? Once I figured out the system, I was able to replicate it weekend after weekend. Some weekends I made more, some a little less, but the point is, this actually works. The side hustle revealed: flipping items. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, "Oh, I've heard this before," hear me out because I'm going to show you a very specific strategy that most people don't use. Flipping is basically buying items for cheap and selling them for a profit. Simple concept, right? But here's where most people go wrong. They flip random stuff without any strategy. They buy whatever looks good and hope someone will buy it. I'm going to teach you the smart way to flip, which is what allowed me to make $847 in just one weekend. The secret is focusing on high-demand, high-margin items that you can turn around quickly. I'm talking about electronics, especially gaming consoles, laptops, and smartphones. Furniture, particularly mid-century modern pieces. Designer clothing and sneakers. Collectibles and vintage items. Power tools and equipment. Now, you might be thinking, "Johnny, I don't have money to buy expensive items." I hear you. When I started, I had exactly $150 to my name. That's all you need to get started. In fact, you can start with even less if you're strategic about it. The key is knowing where to buy and what to look for, and that's exactly what I'm going to break down for you step by step. Step 1, finding your inventory. This is where the magic happens. Most people think they need to go to expensive wholesale suppliers or have special connections. Nope. I found all my items locally, and you can too. Here are the best places to find inventory. Facebook Marketplace. This is my #1 source. Every single day, people are posting items they need to get rid of quickly. Maybe they're moving, downsizing, or just cleaning out their garage. These people aren't trying to maximize profit. They just want the item gone. That's your opportunity. I look for listings where people say things like "must go today," "moving sale," or "need gone ASAP." These sellers are motivated, which means they're willing to negotiate on price. Craigslist is similar to Facebook Marketplace, but I've found that Craigslist tends to have more tools, equipment, and larger furniture pieces. The interface isn't as user-friendly, but the deals can be incredible. Estate sales and garage sales. Weekend mornings are prime time. I wake up early on Saturday, grab a coffee, and hit up 5 to 7 estate sales. Estate sales are especially good because families are usually selling off everything from a deceased relative's home. They just want it gone, and you can find amazing vintage items, collectibles, and furniture. Thrift stores, Goodwill, Salvation Army, local thrift shops. These places are gold mines if you know what to look for. I focus on designer clothing, vintage items, and electronics. Just last month, I found a vintage leather jacket for $12 and sold it for $95. OfferUp and Let Go. These apps are similar to Facebook Marketplace, but sometimes have less competition. I've scored great deals on electronics here. Here's my weekend strategy that made me $847. On Friday evening, I spent 2 hours scrolling through Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, making a list of potential items. I messaged sellers, negotiated prices, and set up appointments for Saturday morning. Saturday at 7 a.m., I was out the door. I hit up 3 estate sales and 2 Facebook Marketplace pickups. By noon, I had spent $285 and had 5 items in my possession. Step 2. Knowing what to buy. This is the most crucial skill you need to develop. Not every deal is a good deal. You need to know what items will actually sell and for how much. Here's my research process, and I do this for every item before I buy it. The 60-second profit check. Before I commit to buying anything, I pull out my phone and search for that exact item or similar items on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. I look at sold listings on eBay to see what people are actually paying, not just what sellers are asking. For example, that weekend I found a PlayStation 4 bundle with 2 controllers and 5 games listed for $120. The seller said it worked perfectly, but they upgraded to a PS5. Before meeting them, I checked eBay for sold listings. Similar bundles were selling for $280 to $320. That's a potential $160 to $200 profit. Easy decision. The 3X rule. I try to find items that I can sell for at least 3 times what I'm paying. So if I buy something for $30, I want to sell it for at least $90. This gives me room for negotiation with buyers and still makes the time investment worth it. That weekend, here's what I bought and what I paid. PlayStation 4 bundle, $120. Mid-century modern coffee table, $45. Vintage leather jacket, $20, designer handbag, authenticated, $60, DeWalt power drill set, $40. Total investment, $285. Now, some of you might be thinking, how did you authenticate that designer handbag? Great question. I spent time learning how to spot fakes by watching YouTube videos and reading authentication guides. For expensive items like designer goods, I also use apps like LegitCheck, or I take them to local consignment shops that will authenticate them for a small fee. Red flags to avoid. Electronics that might need repair, unless you know how to fix them. Items with strong odors, smoke, pet smells that won't come out. Anything that seems too good to be true, probably stolen or fake. Anything in categories you know nothing about. Stick to what you know, at least in the beginning. I started with electronics because I'm a tech guy. Once I got comfortable, I branched out into furniture and clothing. Step 3. The art of negotiation. Here's a skill that will literally put money in your pocket. Negotiation. When I first started, I was too shy to negotiate. I'd see something listed for $50 and I'd pay $50, but that's leaving money on the table. Now, I negotiate on almost every purchase, and here's how I do it. Be respectful but direct. I'll message a seller and say something like, "Hey, I'm interested in electronics. Would you consider $25 less? I can pick it up today with cash." The magic words are today and cash. Sellers want items gone, and cash is king. Offering immediate pickup with cash in hand gives you negotiating power. The strategic offer. I typically offer 60 to 70% of their asking price. If they're asking $100, I'll offer $60 to $70. Most of the time they'll counter somewhere in the middle and we'll settle at $75 to $80. That's $20 to $25 saved on every transaction. That PlayStation 4 I mentioned, it was listed for $150. I offered $100. The seller countered at $120. I said I only had $120 on me, which was true, and they accepted. When to walk away? If a seller won't budge and the numbers don't make sense, walk away. There will always be another deal. Don't let FOMO, fear of missing out, cause you to buy something that won't be profitable.
Step 4. Listing items for sale. Once I have my items, I don't wait. Time is money. I list everything the same day, usually Saturday afternoon. Taking great photos. This is huge. Bad photos will kill your sales. I take photos in natural light, show the item from multiple angles, and make sure everything is clean and presented well. For that coffee table, I cleaned it up, staged it with a plant and some books, and took photos that looked like they came from a furniture catalog. Presentation matters. Writing compelling descriptions. I write detailed descriptions that include brand and model number, condition, be honest, measurements for furniture and clothing, what's included, any flaws or issues. I also use keywords that people actually search for. For the PS4, I wrote PlayStation 4 bundle, PS4 console, 2 controllers, 5 games. Works perfect, great condition. Pricing strategy? Here's my secret. I don't price items at the absolute maximum I can get. I price them competitively so they sell fast. Remember, the goal isn't to maximize every single sale. The goal is to flip items quickly so I can reinvest that money and do it again. Fast turnover beats maximum profit every time. I typically price items 10 to 15% below similar listings. This makes my listing the best value and I get messages within hours. Step 5. The weekend results. Okay, so let's break down exactly what happened that weekend. Saturday afternoon, listed all 5 items on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. Saturday evening, got messages on 4 of the 5 items, scheduled pickups for Sunday. Sunday morning, sold the PlayStation 4 bundle for $300, listed at $320, buyer negotiated. Sunday afternoon, sold the coffee table for $120, the leather jacket for $75, and the power drill set for $95. Monday afternoon, sold the designer handbag for $242. Took an extra day, but it was worth the wait. Total revenue, $832. Total investment, $285. Profit, $547. Wait, Johnny, you said you made $847. What about the other $300? Great catch! That same weekend, I also had 3 items from the previous week that sold. That added another $300 in profit, bringing my total weekend profit to $847. Here's the thing. Once you get the system going, you're constantly selling items from previous hauls while sourcing new inventory. It snowballs. Tips to scale even more. After that first successful weekend, I wanted to scale this side hustle even more. Here's what I learned. Reinvest your profits. Take at least 70% of your profits and reinvest them into more inventory. The more money you have to work with, the bigger items you can flip and the more profit you can make. Specialize in a niche once you get comfortable. Pick a niche and become an expert. I eventually specialized in vintage electronics and retro gaming because I loved it and knew the market well. When you specialize, you can spot deals faster and command higher prices because you're an authority. Build a reputation. Respond quickly to messages, be honest in your listings, and provide excellent customer service. On Facebook Marketplace, good reviews matter. The better your reputation, the easier it is to sell. Use multiple platforms. Don't just list on one platform. I list on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, OfferUp, and sometimes eBay. The more eyeballs on your listings, the faster they sell. Batch your time. I dedicate Saturday mornings to sourcing and Saturday afternoons to listing. Sunday is for sales and pickups. Having a system saves time and keeps you organized. Learn to spot trends. Pay attention to what's selling fast in your area. Right now, vintage home decor is huge. Last year, it was gaming consoles. Stay aware of trends and adjust your sourcing accordingly.
Network with other flippers. I joined local Facebook groups and online communities of other flippers. We share tips, deals, and sometimes even collaborate. Community is powerful. Common mistakes to avoid. Let me save you some headaches by sharing the mistakes I made when I first started. Mistake number 1, buying things you love, not what sells. Just because you think something is cool doesn't mean other people will buy it. Buy what the market wants, not what you want. Mistake number 2, overpricing. I tried to squeeze every dollar out of my first few flips, and items sat for weeks. Priced to sell, not to maximize. Mistake number 3, not checking items thoroughly. I wanted to buy a laptop that was working that actually had a cracked screen hidden by the angle in the photos. Always test electronics before buying. Mistake number 4, not checking safety. Meet in public places for transactions. Don't give out your home address. Bring a friend for big-ticket items. Your safety is more important than any deal. Mistake number 5, getting discouraged by slow sales. Not everything will sell immediately. Be patient. Some of my best profits came from items that took 2 to 3 weeks to sell. The long-term potential. Here's what really excites me about this side hustle. It scales. That first $847 weekend was just the beginning. Within 3 months, I was averaging a $600 to $800 profit every weekend. Some weekends were better, some were slower, but the consistency was there. I used that money to pay off my credit card debt, build an emergency fund, and eventually invest in stocks. The financial breathing room completely changed my college experience. Some people take this even further and turn it into a full-time business. I know flippers who quit their jobs and now make 6 figures a year doing this full-time. That's not my goal right now because I'm focused on finishing school, but it's absolutely possible if you want to go that route. The skills you learn, negotiation, marketing, customer service, sales, are valuable no matter what career you pursue. I use these skills in every aspect of my life now. Final thoughts and call to action. All right, guys, that's how I made $847 in 1 weekend as a college student using this flipping side hustle. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, it's not passive income, and it does require work. But if you're willing to put in the effort, especially on weekends, this can be a game changer for your finances. The beauty of this side hustle is that you can start today. Right now, you could open Facebook Marketplace and start looking for deals. You don't need to wait for approval. You don't need a special license. You just need a little bit of money to start and the willingness to learn. My challenge to you is this. Set a goal to make your first $100 profit this weekend. Just $100. Find one item, flip it, and prove to yourself that this works. Once you get that first sale, you'll be hooked. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Drop a comment below and let me know what's the first item you're gonna flip. I read every comment and I'll respond to as many as I can. And if you're serious about making money and building wealth, subscribe to Money Makes Money channel and hit that notification bell. I post new money-making strategies every week and I don't want you to miss any of them. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, money makes money, but only if you take action. Now go out there and make it happen. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.